Yes, sir.
What's up? It's your girl Lightning. It is Thursday night, so you know what time it is. It is time for Live with Lightning. And tonight we are talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. It, in case you didn't understand the caption, you was like, what is Lightning talking about this week? We are talking about being in relationships. And, when you first meet somebody, you all have discussions about your values. First of all, let's identify. Let's identify what it means to be equally yoked. It is basically sharing the same set of beliefs and values, not necessarily spiritual, but everything. A lot of spiritual, you know what I'm saying? A spirituality has a lot to do with it, but being on the same page, basically. You know what I'm saying? The hood version of equally yoked is being on the same wavelength. You know what I'm saying? So, you clearly identify those things in the beginning of a relationship. What you like, what you believe in, what your goals are, all of that, and you hopefully try to find somebody that's on the same page with you, that shares the same aspirations, that you have, and it becomes extremely difficult when you get duped. You have them conversations about being equally, yoked, and you feel like you both are on the same page, and then you get together and you're not. You're not. You're on two different wavelengths. So it's like I almost feel like it's no future in your fronting. You know what I'm saying? Like, why front? Why say all that stuff that you enjoy or what you like, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then that truly is not you. That truly is not your wavelength, So I don't think that that's cool. I think, you should always live in a realm of keep it real, identify clearly who you are, what you want, what you want. And hopefully that person is on the same page, before you guys start a relationship, because it becomes extremely difficult when you get involved in something and they turn out to be not who you thought they were. I don't think that's fair to either party, that's in the relationship, to initially, weigh out all the things that you like, what you dislike, your pet peeves, all of that. And then that person, basically tell you that, no, that's not me. I don't do that. I'm not this, I'm not that, And then you get in a relationship with them and they're everything that they said that they weren't. You know, um, I think that is really messed up. So tonight we're talking about it. We're talking about getting in situations and finding out later that you and that person have nothing in common. You're not truly equally yoked. You're on two different wavelengths. You believe one thing, and they believe another. Yet in the beginning, they told you that they shared the same mentality that you did, and it's not cool, So if you're tapped in with me tonight, you are live with Lightning. It goes down every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight, like I said, we're talking about being equally yoked or equally duped, you know. Um, I'm at the point of no longer desiring a relationship. Everybody, some people love relationships, I'm at the point where I don't, I don't believe people can be on one accord, because you put all your cards on the table of the things that what you believe in, how you feel, how you think, what your love languages are, how you feel, how you love, your expectation, and the the other party says, yeah, I'm like that too. And then you get involved with them and you invest time, love, all of that, and they're nothing of what they said they were, you know. So as far as me, just personally, um, I went through that with my current marriage, with us being able to talk and lay down, what we believed in, how we thought relationships should look, and all of that. And I thought we were on one accord, and we're not. So just all of that time wasted, and it's just I ain't doing it no more. I'm not doing it no more. Um, so, and I've always been the type to put all my cards on the table, my freaky side, my good girl side, all of it, and it's like take me for all that I am. Like there's been no hidden secrets or anything. And when you get to a point where you're truly not equally yoked, it's difficult, So if you're tapped in with me tonight, hey, how you doing? What's up? Um, we talking about that. We talking about getting in these relationships and you're truly not compatible. I remember one time, sometimes I always like taking pen to paper. Sometimes like one time, me and my current husband, we actually wrote out because some people don't, you get in these relationships, marriages, and people don't clearly understand what you believe a role of a wife is, or what he believes a role of the husband is, or vice versa. Like, what does the wife think that the husband should be, and vice versa? What does the husband think that the wife should be? And me and my current husband, we actually wrote out a list of, what we felt was the roles of a wife and what we felt was the roles of a husband. And they were all over the place. Like I had a whole thought process of my own, and he had a whole essay list of stuff, And it was like at that very fine moment, I was like, this ain't how it started off. You know what I'm saying? Where did all this come from? You don't flip the script off, you done changed the game, So if you tuned in with me tonight, that's what we're talking about. So have you ever been in a situation where it started off where, you laid all your cards on the table, of what you like, what you dislike, your love languages, the things that appeal to you, and and then got involved in that situation, and then it turned out to be not what you thought. Have you been in that situation? Have you been in that situation where you thought you guys were equally yoked and you truly weren't? That's why the key phrase is actions speak louder than words, and unfortunately you find out later. You find out later that a person is not who they say they are, and some people say things just to get you locked in, and if you're vulnerable, I know, just me personally, just speaking my truth of my situation, um, I had come to a point, like I had been single for a long time, and I was very, very happy in my single life. I was not bitter. I was not sad. I was not, don't nobody want me. I was not that sister. Like I was content and totally happy in my singleness. And I was dating multiple people, and I was very upfront and transparent. So if I was dating you and somebody else, I told you, like, I didn't have drama, you know. So um that was a good space for me. And then I something came over me. I never forget the day. I called my sister and I was like, I fully love myself. I'm very content, with my life. I'm good. I'm whole. Everything about me is going well. So I have room to love another person, and I am ready to love another person. I'm ready, and she was all like, "What? You not Miss Single for life? No, not you." And I was like, "Yeah, me. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to love another person and be with that person for the rest of my life. And sometimes you speak to the universe, and then all of a sudden somebody appears, and that's what happened to me. A blast from my past appeared out of nowhere. It was like, hey, you know, I've thought about the other women that I've dated, and I know you never really gave me a shot on a relationship kick, but hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for a relationship. If you're single, how about give us a try? He said, I ain't been messing with nobody for 8 months, nothing. I'm ready. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll give it a shot. Okay, cool. So we just jumped into this relationship, and again, this is somebody that I knew very well. We had gone out a lot, we hung out, we were grown, did grown folks shit. Everything was cool, but I knew he had some flaws and was not ready for a relationship. And at the time, I was not ready for a relationship back then. So when he came to me with this proposition of him being ready and had, basically thought about all the women that he had encountered, I was the one. So he basically was coming back for me if I was still available. And I just so happened to still be single. So we get into this relationship. I had no idea he was going to propose to me, and he did. I said yes, and then found out he was still dipping and diving in the streets. He was not ready for that level of commitment that he presented to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you came and disturbed my space. You came and disrupted my life, basically, with BS because you weren't ready for that. And yet I was. So I got wrapped up in that, you know. Found out he wasn't ready. He was still seeing other people. He was still messing around with other folks, like 4 to be exact. And it came to me how it did. I found out, and I was just like, wow, okay. So that ended that, and literally month, maybe a couple weeks, a month later, it went down in my DM. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, when I first started having a conversation, I was just like, wow, okay, you decent, you cool, you seem all right, but you're a pastor. I don't know. Mm, like, I'm not bad, but a pastor, like, I don't know. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So we went out, conversation was great. We had all these discussions. We went out several times. We had all these discussions about what we believe, how we are, how we behave, all of that. And coincidentally, even though he was a pastor, he vibed with my life, like we matched up. And um he was content with me not being holier than thou. You know what I'm saying? That's never been my calling. That ain't me. So make a long story short, we had all these discussions about my bad side, my good side, I'm solid, but I got a freaky side. You know what I'm saying? I got this. We talked about all of that. And it was fully and 100% accepted. And then he turned out to be different, of all the stuff that he told me that he truly was. So that's what we're talking about tonight, thinking that you were equally yoked with somebody and then you get equally duped. So for my listeners that are on the live with me tonight, talk to me. I talk back. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you guys were equally yoked? And it's not all horror stories. Some are good. Some people are truly equally yoked. They have beautiful, lasting, loving relationships that work. And then some start off thinking that it's all that in a bag of chips and they get duped. You get duped. Well, they're not. They're not all that in a bag of chips. They got issues, mental issues, missing some scruples, psychotic even, that, I mean, it's the reality. I don't think anybody ever sets out to think that they're going to be involved with a lunatic or a psychotic person. I don't think we initially go there, So for my listeners that are tuned in, so Jamal has commented and said values, principles, beliefs, aspirations should be discussed from all angles long before committing to cohabitation of marriage. Very true. Very true. But I also have to add to that, not just discussing it. I think in my situation, because I was in the mode of ready for that commitment, and I actually wrote a poem about it. And I really truly believe that that is what I dealt with. I'm willing to admit my fault in anything, that I was ready for that level of commitment. So I wanted a husband, and in my current husband's lifestyle and position, he needed a wife. Pastors kind of look down upon if they don't have a wife, so it was like the perfect fit. I wanted a husband and he needed a wife, so although Jamal, as I'm going back to your comment, we discussed all these things of values, principles, beliefs, aspirations, all of that, so I fought myself for not dating long enough to see if everything that had been discussed was truly the reality of the person. You know what I'm saying? So that's the duped part, So yes, you can have those discussions. You can speak on your principles and your beliefs and all of that, and then it flipped, you know what I'm saying? So Lacey chimed in, which is Shay. I'm just tired of running into the facade, secret life personalities hide. Jacqueline Hyde, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know what else to say other than, the cliche-ish, keep it real, and people claim they do, but then they really don't. Like sometimes you got to share the good, the bad, the ugly, and then sometimes people will use your ugly or your bad against you, but I think in the end, that's the best policy, to be open and upfront and transparent, and hopefully try to avoid the facade, like you're saying. You know what I'm saying? The list you made too, Jamal said, the list you two made, was that before or after you got married? We were already married. We were already married, when we started to realize that, hey, that's not what you originally told me, or that's not what your expectation was, and now you got a whole different expectation, it was never cookie cutter. And now all of a sudden it's cookie cutter, with the traditional, the wife does this, the husband does that, I expect the wife to do this, that we discussed all that before we got married. And now we're in the marriage and we're having there's some confusion about the roles and the expectations. So we decided to write it down as an exercise. I suggested marriage counseling, but he told me we don't need that. I'm a pastor. We got this. I was like, okay, but I think we need somebody outside of you, sir, because we're having issues, so he didn't want to do that, so he figured us writing it down and we can compare notes. And right then and there, I mean, it was in black and white. Like my list was short. He had 3, 4 pages, like raw whole essays of different things, and none of these people were me. And it wasn't like a situation where I said, I'm going to change and I'm going to become this person. I never said that, never tried. I never said all of that. I've never been that. I wasn't going to try to be that. I gave you who I was, and you told me you loved me for all of that. You said you loved all of my imperfections as they were. And then all of a sudden you want it to be different. You know what I'm saying? You want to make me be this person that I'm not, never was gonna be, you know? Um, so Jamal came back and said, honesty, transparency, trustworthiness, and loyalty are not qualities that can be wholly determined in a few months. It takes time, and more time. That's true. And that's why I say I blame myself, because we did not date long enough, and I looked at it in the sense of what I had spoken to the universe. And I felt like when the first person came along to establish a relationship, and like immediately my whole story, and I'll share it with you, literally soon as he presented this opportunity of a relationship or suggested a relationship, another guy that I truly feel is a soul connection of mine. Like we've never been in a relationship, but we have a bond that is forever. We're good friends, but it's just something about it. I can't explain it. It's cosmic. And I saw him like 2 weeks later after this brother had propositioned me to be in a relationship. I saw him 2 weeks later, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I want to see you or whatever." And I looked at that, and I turned him down, of course, but I looked at that as like a test. Like, okay, I spoke to the universe and I said, this is what I want. This is what I'm ready for. Then all of a sudden I was presented with this. Then here you come. So I like, even though I love you to death, I'm like, you the devil right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you are trying to get in the mix of an opportunity, a great thing that just happened for me, So I turned him down and I was like, yes, I passed the test. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fold. I didn't go that way. I was like, yes, I did it. Okay, I'm good. And then when that fell through, and all of a sudden something else came along right away, I was like, okay, well, it's still meant for me. It's still meant, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I looked at it also like, well, all of that happened with the previous guy, so I can have you. So I would be ready for you. It was you that I was waiting for, so, and then it not end up being the case, so, yeah, let's see. Yeah, it definitely takes time. It takes time and more time. Can people make other people go crazy? Ooh, I'm sure that's possible. I'm sure that you can be so wrapped up in a person, and I don't know. I guess you could. You could get so wrapped up in a person that you become crazy. That's why, unfortunately, we have domestic violence situations, where some of these men have the mentality, well, if I can't have her, nobody can have her. And they become very abusive, or destructive. So yeah, I think people can make you go crazy. Jamal said, do we need to start having contracts signed and notarized before commitment, answering all these questions? I saw a Facebook post one time, and I think it was a joke, but I was kind of like, yeah, like almost like, and I know some people in their relationship, and I think that is awesome, that some people do like have weekly conversations or whether monthly conversations, like, are we good? Is everything okay? Because sometimes people just start to coexist. You're just comfortable, or you get in a situation where you're like, I don't want to go through this no more. I don't want to have to deal with breaking up, falling in love again, getting to know another person. You get comfortable. So you just coexist, you just accept things. But the post that I was mentioning, they actually have like monthly conversations about, are we good? Like, is anything changed about us? I don't think that is, it's like with a job. You have a job. When it's time for promotion, you have a review of your work ethic, of your work responsibilities, and how well have you done the job. And I think if people have more open communication, I love to communicate. Like, I do. I don't like to be in a situation where something is bothering me and I don't talk about it. And I don't wait to talk about it like 6 months later. Like, yeah, 6 months ago, you pissed me off about the blah, blah. Like, no, we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to escalate it. I'm not going to front you off in public, make a big scene about something, but we're going to deal with it right now. You know what I'm saying? While it's happening that evening, whatever, pillow talk, whatever, we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to let something muster. I'm not. I love to communicate. I think we don't do enough of that today. Enough people do not communicate well, so they do a lot of communication in the beginning, basically, answering all the right questions just so they can get in. I don't know, and then they get in and then they flip the script. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about tonight. So I almost feel like, so the meme was, us having these, like an annual review. You know what I'm saying? Is everything still good? So that you're not just accepting and settling and, coexisting just because you don't want to deal with the reality that this isn't meant for you. So I damn near, agree. Like, there should be a renewal process. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have a contract signed that, and notarized to validate your statements. Shay said, I'm just tired of running into the facade. Oh, I already saw that one. Oh, she said, yeah, I was in a relationship with somebody that I thought he was the one, and we got some years under our belt and things started to change over a course of time. But for a while he was straight driving, and then I would get different little subtle clues that something wasn't quite right. And then we started to drift apart, and I didn't know what was the reason. I just kept saying, it has to be another woman. It has to be another woman. And was adamant that I am not seeing, he was adamant that he was not seeing another woman. I'm not seeing another woman because he was seeing a man. Damn. Oh, damn. Now that's, woo. 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 That's heavy. That's heavy. And would you say, how did you really feel about that? Just as a woman, and then to find out that not only was he not cracked up to be who he said he was, who he presented himself to be, but then he flipped the script and became basically bisexual because he was being intimate with another man. That's heavy. Yeah, that is heavy. So did you feel any certain kind of way, just you being a woman? Like, wow, if I can't say it, so I couldn't satisfy you, so you went to a man, or do you just charge it off like that's your choice, that's what you're doing? So if you're just tuning in, you're live with Lightning. It's Thursday. It goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Standard Central Time. And if you want to have want to email me a subject that you want me to talk about, feel free to email me at live with lightning, all wrote out, live with lightning, and lightning at gmail.com. If you're ever on the live and you want to comment, but you don't want to share it publicly, my email is open. You can email me directly if you don't want to share your comment. And I promise to keep it anonymous, but I will speak on your comment while we're live. If you have a small business or a business period that you want to advertise with me while we're live on Thursday nights, I can give you options for advertising as well. You can email me at livewithlightning@gmail.com. But I appreciate all the love and support. You can send stars through the video, or you can send me anything in Cash App, which is Lightning One. And I definitely appreciate all your support to keep this going. I anticipate I want it to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to be a household name, with having these type of conversations, So it definitely, if I got to be the one to help y'all communicate, let me be the one, So you just never know where our conversations are going to go. But tonight we are talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. And if you missed the beginning of the live, equally yoked is when you have basically discussed your beliefs and your values, and you feel like you both are on one accord, and then you find out that you're not, you know. Um, so I understand that you go through all the emotions and you blame yourself. That's so unfortunate. I hate that you had to experience that. I truly do, you know, versus people just being upfront and honest about, who they are, what their desires are. And I'm not necessarily gonna say, things change, and that's okay. Things change, but you also, when the feelings change, or you're no longer feeling how you felt initially, I believe that it's only fair that you have that conversation with your person and say, hey, my feelings have changed. I feel differently now. I don't know what changed, but whatever it is, it changed. I think you should be open and honest and upfront about that always. Never lead a person on, because it's not fair. It's not fair. Then you realize it ain't you, and you wonder what's wrong with you. Yeah, I get it. Again, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Jamal said, I think daily communication and weekly wellness checks on a relationship is a healthy practice to have. Life changes people, external pressures, health issues, children issues with the children, aging parents, career changes. They all change people. They change relationships, and that requires open, honest communication. Values, interests, motivations can change things. Very much so. Very much so. Because I know the most what's the word I'm looking for? I know losing my mother affected me a great deal. It really did. My mother was my everything, and I talk to her daily. I think of her daily. I miss her calls. I miss her video calls. I miss hearing how she laughed, because she had a click, she couldn't talk. So she used to do this click thing. But losing my mother took a lot out of me. And Wednesday night was our night. I was with my mama every Wednesday night. So when I lost her, my friends loved me so much that they said, now Wednesday night, it's my night. It's our night. We're gonna keep your mind sane so that you're not having emotional breakdowns thinking about your mom so much, because everybody grieves differently, so that was very helpful for me, to have that love from my friends, to love me so much, to take my Wednesday, because that was my mama's day, you know. Um, it was never my husband's day. Wednesday was my mama's day, you know. But again, so I'm sorry, but My mama was my everything. So that, I definitely agree with you on that, certain things definitely affect you, and if there's no regard or no compassion or no understanding for you dealing with the loss and how you may be dealing with it, and the person is only focused on themselves, and not really you, because they're so self-centered that everything is not about them, that becomes a problem. But like you said, it definitely affects a lot. It does. Um, so if you're just chiming in, I appreciate the comments that we've been getting, but we're talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. That's what the conversation is about tonight. So in case you saw the heading and was like, what is Lightning talking about tonight? That is what we're talking about. We are talking about getting in these situations where you start off believing, everything is too legit to quit. You both are on the same wavelength, you're both on the same page, you both believe the same things, you believe the same God, you believe the same whatever, your morals, your values, everything. You're all on the same page, so you think. And then you get involved, let alone, but like Jamal said, it takes time. So if you don't put in that time, sometimes you get to, all you're seeing is the actor. You're not seeing the real person. You're seeing who they have advised they are based on damn near listening to you with of what you want. You ever been in that situation where you talk so much about what you want, what you desire, and then the person pretty much got the whole lineup of and say all the right things to make it sound like that's who they are. Like, yep, you like that? I do that too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get wrapped up in that, and it's like you don't want to tell everything that you want. You kind of want it to fit the right way, but how can you not have the conversation without disclosing how you feel? You explain what you want, what you feel, what you desire, all of that, and they come right back with everything you want to hear. Literally everything you want to hear. And that ain't them. They presenting their representative. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yes, you are tuned in. We are live with Lightning. I'm updating the comments. I like what you like. And that's what people say. I like what you like. They do that. I like what you like. And then you really don't. I love crab legs. Love them. Some people say they love crab legs too, till they sit and eat with me. And they're like, no, I don't even like them like that. I've even been in a situation my brother kept saying, oh, I love them too. I love crab legs. I do. I want to go. And then we went and he ain't eating out of the damn crab leg. I was like, dude, there's no future in your fronting. There's no future in your fronting. So if you're just chiming in, you are live with Lightning. It goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You just never know where the conversation is going to go. Sometimes we have adult conversations. Sometimes we get ratchet. Sometimes we just talking. So tonight we are talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. So if you're chimed in with me, talk to me. I talk back. Have you ever been in a situation where you laid all your cards on the table? You said, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I believe, this is what I value, these are my goals, this is what all of that, like laid all that on the line. And then they came back with everything you wanted to hear, basically what Jamal said, I like what you like. And you like, okay, let's do this then. And then That ain't them. That's not them. That's not them. They was fronting. There's no future in your fronting. MC Breed said it best. Ain't no future in your fronting. Eventually, your representative is going to mess up, and the truth is going to come out. The truth is going to come out. So, yeah. Anybody that just tuned in, have you ever been in that situation where you felt like you were equally yoked with a partner and then they turned out to not be who you thought they were? And if you have gone through that, what did you do once you realized that they were not who you thought they were? What do you do? What do you do? Do you get out? Or do you finally have that conversation and say, hey, you've changed, you're different? Or do you try to get to the root? Like, I'm always the one trying to get to the root of the problem. Like, where did this come from? And then the harsh reality is when you discover it was never what you thought it was in the first place. It never was what you thought it was in the first place. It never was. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, and like I continue to say, I'm a firm believer on being transparent and keeping it real. Keep it real. Be who you are. Live in your truth. Whatever that truth is, don't let society dictate how you should be or what you should not do or any of that. You have to accept your reality, whatever that reality is, and walk and stand in your truth, whatever that is. You know, and if you're trying to add somebody to your life, it's only fair that they know the true you. You know, stop presenting these representatives. Stop. If you ghetto, ratchet, and that's you, be that. It's somebody out there for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're holy and this and go to church and and that's who you really are, be that and get that mate. You know what I'm saying? But don't act like you're this and then you're really that. You know what I'm saying? Don't portray yourself as this person and you're really this person. You know, that's not fair to anybody. It's not. It's not fair. And then you got to think about the time vested is wasted. You know, it's 100% wasted when you could have experienced life with somebody else or met done something different with your life, changed career paths, anything. You could have done so many things differently, but you got caught up in the rapture of what you thought was love and what you thought was your forever, you know. Because I truly believe we get in situations hoping it's forever. I've never heard anybody get in a relationship and like, yeah, this probably just gonna last about 4 or 5 years. Things happen that way. It end up being 4 or 5 years, but you don't set out to, yeah, I'm only trying to be somewhere, with somebody for 6 years and then that's that. We hope that we're gonna be together forever. I would think, you know, I would think, I would think. So I'm refreshing. I don't know. I haven't seen any additional comments. So if there have been comments, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is with when I'm on my live that the comments are delayed, but if I see them, I see them. I see them, but sometimes they are delayed. But like I told you before, if we're ever live and you want to email me directly, feel free to do so. It is live, LIVE, with WITH, lightning, LIGHTNING, at gmail.com. If you have a subject that you want us to talk about, you can email me. If you ever want to be a surprise guest host, a co-host with me on my live, you can email me there. And if you're ever with us live and you want to comment, but you don't want your comment to be public, feel free to email me directly at livewithlightning@gmail.com. I will see your comment live. But tonight, again, if you're just tuning in, you are live with Lightning. It goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight we are talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. And I truly appreciate the transparency with the comments that have been shared tonight. So if you're listening and you tuned in, let me see. Jamal said, do you think some people become so enamored initially that they lose sight of who they are or their actual truths, or subconsciously masked in fear of scaring off the other person? I'm sure that is a true reality. I'm sure that is a true reality, but I also believe that it would be best to speak that truth, whatever that truth is, Um, that way, even if the consequence is that you don't get that person or you're not with that person, at least at the end of the hour, you told the truth. They're either going to accept you for who you are completely or they're not, but to find out somebody's different or lives a different lifestyle, as we spoke on with the comments earlier with, you know, I'm sure whom she was dating did not disclose that they were a down low brother in the beginning. She had to find out, and after all those years of however long they had been together, she had to find out, so in the midst of that relationship, no different. If his sexual preference changed, I feel like that should have been a discussion, and he would have to deal with the consequence if she chose to not accept that and say, well, okay, that's how you choose to live. I'm not down with that. I'm not going to subject myself to that lifestyle because that's not what I want, but to just continue to coexist and then keep that as a secret and live this secret life when that's truly who you have become. That's the part that behooves me, like my boy Darren Fleetwood would say, you know what I'm saying? Um, that's I don't get that. I just feel like, you have to take that risk and just be open and upfront about what you want, what your desires are, all of that. And that person either be accepting or not, So um I think that a lot of people do that. That's why we have so much drama these days, I believe, that some people do exactly what you just stated, that they're just so, you know, uh they're losing sight of who they are truly because they're so busy trying to convince the other party of presenting the person who they think that person want them to be, instead of presenting the real them. They're doing more presenting of who the person is claiming that they want, you know. And that's what I feel like. It's like a catch-22, because you want to have these open conversations about what your desires are. I mean, everything from spirituality to sexuality to your sex life, are you kinky? Are you freaky? Are you this? Are you that? Or whatever, just being able to, some people don't want to put all that on the line, But that's really how they feel. That's how they get down, you know. And then all of a sudden you become intimate, and all of a sudden you break out whips and chains, and people are like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? And you all, whoa, you didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me you were into toes. You know, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we should have them conversations. And but a lot of people don't want to because, like you said, they don't want to miss the opportunity, you know, or sometimes a lot of people live in the realm of, oh, I can change, you know. I know I've been a victim of that where I feel like I can change a person. You can't. You have to accept that person for who they are. You know, it's truly who they are, and not think you can change a soul. You can't change nothing but baby pampers and addresses. Excuse me. You can't change nothing but baby pampers and addresses. You can't change a person's reality. You can't. If that's who they are, you know. I'm not saying people don't change. Don't go bashing lightning, talking about lightning, say people can't change. That's not true. People can change. I'm not saying that it's impossible for it to happen, but to go in with the attitude that you can change a person, 9 times out of 10, it never works. That definitely never works. At least for me, it never works. You can't change a person. You can't. And you can't stop a grown person from doing what a grown person want to do. Period. If a person gonna cheat on you, they gonna cheat on you. Trust me. You can't stop it. You know, I don't care how you sugarcoat it, how you figure whatever. You can't stop a grown person from doing shit. Period. Big dot. um, yeah. So tonight's conversation has been interesting. I appreciate all the comments that you've made, Jamal, and sharing with us, and Lacey, Shay, for disclosing your truth, you know, because that's deep. You know, I wouldn't know how to feel. And you know, to find out in the manner of how you found out. I remember I met a brother before, and he was open and upfront and honest. You know, we were talking, and he mentioned it in conversation. I don't think we were really having a sexual preference conversation, but I think we were like talking about like what's the freakiest thing you've done, or you know, like we were having that kind of conversation, like just speaking on different experiences that we each had experienced sexually. And I mean, in the conversation, like he didn't warn me or nothing. He was just like, yeah, it was pretty wild when you know, me and my boy, we was chilling, and he sucked my dick, you know, and then I sucked his dick. And I was just like, whoa, damn, okay. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't my preference, you know what I'm saying? Like, to each his own, do what you do. But to this day, I respected the brother's honesty. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, it happened, you know. Now I don't feel like I'm gay, but it happened, you know, and I was like, wow, you know. So I appreciated him being real, being honest. You know, he didn't have to share that with me because he was trying to get at me. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to get in where he fit in, but he disclosed that to me. So letting me know right up front, you know, not that it was something that he was continuing on, but he definitely let me know that he's experienced the, you know, being with a man, and the man. Now all he told me was suck a dick, but I don't know, you know, maybe he ain't tell me the rest of it. But if he was just that candid, I'm pretty sure maybe he would have told me that he went ahead and went that route. I've had other men, you know, I've had some thug brothers tell me, like, yeah, you know, I get down like this sometimes, you know, and I really truly appreciate that realness. Now, I may choose not to deal with that, you know. I truly choose not to deal with that. That's my choice. But I definitely appreciate and respect the truth. Always, no matter how it is, good, bad, ugly, whatever. I love the truth. You know what I mean? I've always been that way, you know, straight up. So this has been a great conversation. I hope I'm not missing anybody additional comments. I'm sorry that I do have this delay, but I am continuously and always improving so that we can have a great time and great conversation every Thursday night. Hopefully my microphone sounds better. I got a new microphone that I'm loving so much, so I appreciate it again, for everybody that's rocking with me and going on this journey with me. Cass just chimed in. Well, bow now. All right. Okay. I don't know what you comment now, but so since you just chimed in, tonight's conversation, Casmo, we talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. And we about to wrap it up. So have you ever been in a situation where you started off, identifying what your values were, what your beliefs were with an individual, and then they turned out to be everything they said they were, and you guys still together, that you truly were equally yoked? Or have you been equally duped where everything they said that they were, they truly weren't, or they weren't into? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had somebody say that they were just as freaky as you are, and then you realize they freak can't never match your freak? Some people say they love oral sex and then they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, why say that if you don't? Like, keep it real, people. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. If you don't like oral sex, say that. Say that. If you don't feel like you're really good at oral sex, let's work on that. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. So yeah, this has been great conversation. Um, I'm trying to refresh my screen. I don't know if you commented, Casmo. I know you chimed in. Let's see. Sounds great. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. My microphone. Mic sounds nice. Check one. But yeah, I know you came on the ass in. But it's all good. Tonight's conversation was we were talking about, being equally yoked or equally duped. So for all my listeners out there, for everybody, definitely tune in every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Standard Central Time. We never know what the subject is going to be. I always let you know, but I appreciate everybody chiming in. And again, tonight we were talking about being equally yoked or equally duped. And if you ever have a subject that you want to hear discussed, or we're live and you want to comment, but you don't want everybody in your business to know that you made the comment, you can email me at livewithlightning@gmail.com. If you ever want to be a guest host, you can email me there as well. If you want to advertise your business by any means, email me at livewithlightning@gmail.com. Yeah. And next week we'll have my sister. She will be live. Her name is Elise, and she will be doing some spiritual readings. So definitely chime in next week on Thursday, 8 p.m. Standard Central Time. But it goes down every Thursday night. You are live with Lightning right here. We are streaming on Facebook Live, Twitter, and YouTube. So if you ever missed the show, or are you busy or whatever, we understand. I get it. You can tune in. You can go back and rewatch the shows and share them. Tell a friend, bring a friend. But we are here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Standard Central Time, and you're live with Lightning. And again, just to remind you, I appreciate all the love that everybody always shows. I appreciate any stars that have been sent. I appreciate any Cash App donations. You can hit my Cash App, Lightning1. But I appreciate everybody just helping me do what I'm doing and continue to grow and build. And I thank you so much for your support and loving me the way you do. But definitely catch us next Thursday night live with Lightning. And we will have Elise on the line, and she will be doing some live reading. So looking forward to that. But again, thanks everyone for tuning in with me tonight. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And again, if you have a subject or you want to be live with me and be amped with me, email me again at livewithlightning@gmail.com. But thank you so much for being here tonight. I thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing. Peace and love, and everybody have a good night.